Hi, welcome again to this class. We are in lecture number 2, where we shall talk about Introduction to Arduino. By the end of this class, you shall be able to understand what Arduino is. So let's come and join into the class and learn more about Arduino. In this lecture, we shall discuss an introduction to Arduino. So what is an Arduino? So that will be our main purpose for this class, to understand what is Arduino. So what is Arduino? So Arduino is a microcontroller development platform paired with an intuitive programming language that you develop using the Arduino Integrated Development Environment, that is the IDE. So Arduino is two things I can say. Is a microcontroller development platform, and also we have the intuitive programming language done on an IDE, post the Arduino program. By equipping the Arduino with sensors, actuators, lights, speakers, add-on modules, we actually have a programmable brain for just about any control system. So that's essentially what an Arduino is a platform that you've provided with a hardware and a software to be able to implement a complete system, control system. One thing about Arduino is that it's completely open source. That is, all the schematics, documentations are freely available. And you can download this in the Arduino website. So to find more about Arduino, you will go to the website Arduino. So if you go to Google and find and type Arduino, then come to this page, you'll be able to see what Arduino is. According to their website, is an open source electronics platform based on easy to use hardware and software. Arduino boards are able to read inputs, light on a sensor, and all these things. To do so, you use Arduino programming language that is based on wiring. Of course, you may want to know what's wiring. You may go to the site and be able to see. And we have the Arduino software that is based on processing. Processing is a kind of platform for developing also programs. So you can find more about why Arduino. It's actually inexpensive. It's cross-platform. You can develop on Windows, Mac, Mac, and Linux. You use simple and clear programming environment. It's completely open source, as I said. It's extensible in both hardware and software. So if you want to also get further details how to use Arduino, this is why this course is designed to help us understand Arduino and how to use it. But you can get further assistance and guide from the website. So you can check on this website and be able to see what you can learn about Arduino on this site as well. So what are the capabilities of Arduino? So Arduino, it has so many features and functions. Arduino is composed of an Atmel microcontroller. It has a USB programming interface. It has voltage regulators and power connectors. It has breakout for I/O input and output pins. This is where you connect your other peripherals. It has LED debug LEDs, these simple lights on the board. That's a reset button, and actually it has an in-circuit serial programmer. We shall see what this exactly is. So this is a board, the Arduino Uno board, and if you see according to the labels, we have the main chip, that is the Atmega 328P, that is for the Arduino Uno. We have a power supply unit, the power system, where we power the system from. Actually, you can power the system with 7 to 12 volts, and it has a voltage regulator. This is actually what regulates the power you supply to what the chip uses. This chip uses 5 volts. And then here we have the pin outs, where you can connect various peripherals to this board. And there, this is where you program a USB programming port. By inserting a USB P type cable to your computer via this port, you're able to program this board. And this is a 16 megahertz crystal, a reset button, and then we have an Atmega 16, which actually handles the programming of the main microcontroller. This is what connects this USB programming port to the main microcontroller unit. And then here we have the in-circuit serial programming header, also called ICSP, for the microcontroller. Then most of these Arduinos have a 5 volts indicator light to indicate when the board is on. So there are various variants of Arduino. There is Arduino Mini, there's Arduino Pro Mini, and this is one. So let's look at the various features of Arduino Uno. We said at the heart of every Arduino is an Atmel microcontroller unit. For the Arduino Uno, it uses an Atmega 328P. There is an exception of the Do, which uses an ARM Cortex microcontroller. This microcontroller actually is responsible for holding all your compiled code and executing the commands you specify in your code. The Arduino programming language gives you access to microcontroller peripherals, including analog to digital converters, general purpose input and output pins, communication buses we have such as I2C and SPI, and also serial interfaces. So how do we program Arduino? There's a feature in Arduino. Okay, ordinarily, Atmega microcontrollers are written in programs are written in C or in assembly and programmed via the ICSP interface using a dedicated programmer. So this is what normally programs 8 mega microcontrollers. This is called a USB Tiny, or it's actually uh, a programmer that you use to program Atmel microcontrollers. But perhaps the most important characteristic of an Arduino is that you can program it easily via USB. You don't need this programmer to program Arduino. This functionality is made possible by the Arduino Bootloader. So a bootloader is a piece of software uh, that is loaded on the Atmega at the factory during manufacturing using the ICSP header that we saw in the initial slide. It just allows a serial USART. This is a serial communication protocol that you use to load your program on the Arduino without using a separate programmer. So it's so simple to program Arduino because you do not need a dedicated programmer or a separate device for programming Arduino. So that's one feature that is so interesting and nice about Arduino. Of course, Arduino has general input and output pins and also analog to digital converter pins. All of them can serve as digital inputs and outputs. We shall be looking into details what are digital inputs and outputs and what are ADC pins or analog to digital converter pins. Of course, Arduino you have to supply it with a 5 volts power via USB cable, or it actually accepts between 6 volts to 20 volts, but the recommended value is 7 to 12 volts via the direct current connector, the DC, this one here. This is where you connect your power. You can connect 7 to 12 volts, and the voltage regulator will regulate this power to 5 volts that the microcontroller needs for it to work properly. So as I said, whatever is on the microcontroller is this chip called Atmega 328P. So what Arduino did is to map these pins to what Arduino uses, like the function that you see on the Arduino board. So for instance, the pin C6, which is port C, pin 6 of the Atmega 328, is the reset pin of Arduino. And then, for example, the analog input 2 of Arduino is the pin 2 of port C in Arduino in Atmega 328. So we will see this clearly even as we go forward. So we have various Arduino boards. Of course, the major one is the Arduino Uno that uses a small chip here that is 16U2 Atmega 16U2 that converts USB to serial for it to be able to program the Atmega 328P. Of course, we have two variants, so it's available in DIP and SMD versions. SMD, that's a service mount version, that is a small chip. We have also Leonardo. We have Arduino Mega that has more pins. It uses Atmega 2560 as the main microcontroller. And then we have Arduino Do. This one I told you, it uses an 32-bit ARM Cortex M3 microcontroller. It has a higher precision analog to digital conversions. And then it's more powerful than the Arduino Mega. And then we have small factor Arduino boards. These are designed to be mounted right into a breadboard. And also they are more usable in finished projects that you want to compact in small size. But there's so many boards, Arduino boards out there. We have Arduino Uno, Arduino Leonardo, Mega, Arduino Ethernet, Arduino Mini. All these boards are available and they can be used the same way for various projects. So we shall be using a few of them, Arduino Uno, Mega, in this course to see how we can implement our projects using this platform. So you remember I told you you can find more about Arduino in the website. And once again, I take you to the Arduino website, and here you can find so much about Arduino that you may want to know. So if you want to know what an Arduino is in more details, you may go to this website and you read. You find very nice resources to help you understand and even get started.
So I already bought my Arduino Uno, and here it is. So this is the board, and usually it comes with a USB cable. So this is the USB cable that we will be using for the programming of the board. Now, so let's open up the board and see. Normally a genuine one usually is well sealed, and so this is the board, Arduino Uno. So as earlier we had seen in the slides, this is the board, and so this is the Atmega 328P microcontroller. That is the brain of this Arduino. And then this place here is this USB to serial circuitry, because here we have a USB port. This is where we plug in our cable so that we program the board. And so the purpose of this circuitry here is to convert the USB to serial communication that is now used to talk with the microcontroller. Then around this region here, or actually the whole of this region here, is where we have our power circuitry. We have a voltage regulator here that converts our 7 volts to 12 volts to 5 volts that is required by the microcontroller. And then we have here a reset button. We shall be seeing the purpose of this button. And then we have the ICSP pinout. This is the microcontroller programming port that we learned earlier in the lesson. So this is the pinout for that port. And then here we have analog, digital inputs and output pins. So they are labeled from 0 all the way to pin 13. And then in this section here we have analog pins. So we shall be learning what analog and digital pins are later in this course. And also we have the power pins, where we have our 3.3 voltage, 5 volts, ground, and as well you can power this board from this pin. It's called V in. You can power in your voltage here. So this is how the board looks like, and we shall be using this board throughout this course, and we shall learn more how to deal with it. So I hope you also have acquired yours, and then we shall be learning more and more from these lessons. So thank you, and see you in the next class.